So I made a video about what to do when you're thrown, an unexpected curveball by asking the question, what does this make possible? And I thought I would try to get the sun out of that video. I thought I would try and share a little bit about how I did that in a real life example, because sometimes it's easy to say that you should do something or you ought to do something, and then nobody ever shares an example of when they did or how they might have failed. So I wanted to do that now with you. It is September when I'm making this video. Back in May, I got diagnosed. I don't know if that's the right word. I had some blood tests done and got diagnosed with some food allergies and some other issues. I had an overgrowth of yeast in my gut and intestines that had gone systemic and into my blood, leading to a lot of inflammation and a host of other problems. And I found out in one day that when I got those blood test results that I had a gluten and a wheat allergy, an egg allergy, and a monk fruit allergy, which is in most of the artificial sweeteners, and that I shouldn't eat sugar because of that overgrowth of the candida yeast. That the best way to overcome that, I guess, is to starve it. So went on a no sugar diet, and I got the news one day and I started a brand new diet the next day, because that's just how that's just me, right? Like if I decide I'm going to do something, I go like from 0 to 100, and instead of just easing into it. It was hard for my family because my wife is trying to cook meals. My wife's a full-time nurse, and we share a lot of the responsibilities around the house. But she does the grocery shopping and makes the grocery list. And it was a real challenge because it felt like all of a sudden we were doing two different meal preps. You don't know how much gluten and sugar and egg are in everything until you have to cut them out. Now, if it had just been gluten-free and even sugar-free, that would have been easier. The addition of the egg, that made things a lot more difficult. And yes, we tried duck eggs and it was still the same. It was still the same way. I haven't tried quail eggs yet. Might try quail eggs. It was really hard because I love bread. And I loved to eat processed things, especially Jelly Bellies, my absolute favorite. But for about 4 years prior to this blood test, and what had led up to this blood test, is I'd been dealing with an extreme discomfort in my stomach. I was nauseated all the time. There was bloating. I couldn't sleep at night. My stomach felt like it was on fire. I wasn't nauseous to the point of vomiting, but it had disrupted my sleep. I couldn't eat. We had tried to figure out what the foods might be. I'd gone to see a stomach doctor, and they even did an endoscopy based on my weight loss and my symptoms. He thought maybe there was cancer in my stomach, and they did an emergency endoscopy, and there wasn't even a what do they call it? An ulcer. It wasn't even an ulcer. But it was very discouraging. And then a doctor that my wife works for said, hey, we should try this blood test. And so we did. And I find myself now, since September, no gluten, no egg, no sugar. It's not completely no sugar. I try to stay below 6 grams of sugar a day of any kind, which means I'm not eating fruit. I probably get those 6 grams because I told you I like Jelly Bellies. I try to eat 1 Jelly Belly every single day just to keep myself sane. Since that diet change, I have dropped 5 notches on my belt. I've gone from a size 36 waist down to between a size 30 and 32 waist, probably 31, but it's hard to find size 31 pants. I've lost a ton of weight. I feel so much better. I weigh less now than I did when I got married 23 years ago. But it has been a massive change, a massive struggle for me to undergo those diet changes. I'm eating so many salads. It's basically like a keto diet, I guess. But no matter how much I eat, I'm starving all the time. Now, I'm a business owner, and I own a handyman business, as well as other things. And so I stay pretty busy, and trying to get enough calories and trying to eat enough food to where my energy levels stay up, it has been, I'm not going to lie, it's been really, really tough. Now, at least I don't feel sick all the time, but now I'm struggling to maintain a healthy weight. So overnight, my life was thrown into chaos. Now, I know that's not a problem like other people face, but you know what? There are probably people with worse problems than you have. My mom used to say to me, there's always somebody that has things worse than you. Now, if that's actually true and not just hyperbole, that means somewhere in the world there's someone who has it worse than everyone else. And it's probably you. It's probably you. But it's probably not also. The point is, I had a choice to make when I got those test results, that I was either going to lean into that and see what would happen, or I would just moan about it and cry about it. And I did a little bit of that moaning about it. But I decided that if I wanted to feel better, and if I was actually looking for a solution, I needed to lean into this, which means as much as I liked bread, I was going to cut out bread. We went on a journey to try to find good gluten-free bread. And I am now convinced there is no such thing as good gluten-free bread. There's just better than nothing gluten-free bread, but none of it's good. None of it is like a good yeasted sourdough or a white bread fresh out of the oven. I mean, I used to bake bread constantly. I miss that so much. And eggs are in everything. And so now I sit at the breakfast table with my family, and I might have some gluten-free waffles or a bowl of plain oatmeal while they're eating pancakes and regular waffles and all kinds of stuff. The good news is I can eat plenty of meat, but it's been a huge adjustment. It's been a huge shift. And I feel like that's happened to me many times in my life, that there have been things that have just been a shift. When you have something thrown at you that is unexpected, even something that comes as an answer to a problem you've been trying to solve, it might still not always be that pleasant. But you have a choice. You always have a choice. So I don't have a choice in what I eat. No, but you have a choice in how you think about it. I don't have a choice in the health that I've been handed. Maybe not, if that's true, but you do have a choice in what you do in response to it. We always have choices in this life. And I made the choice that if I wanted to be healthy and not be sick all the time, I needed to make some dietary adjustments, which meant food went from something I used to love to eat to now it's just something I eat because I need the nutrition to get through my day. And I've had to find other areas to lean into and other things to enjoy doing. But I'm finding them, and I feel so much better. I actually started back at the gym trying to gain back some of the muscle and some of the weight that I lost in the last 4 years being so sick. In the last 7 years, I've gone through back injury, a back surgery, 4 years of dealing with this stomach issue, and now a completely altered diet. I mean, my life has been a roller coaster in a lot of ways. I started 2 businesses in that time. I maintained full-time work I work as a full-time pastor, but I also am an entrepreneur and own 2 businesses. I stay pretty busy. There's always opportunity, and there's always things that you can decide to do. You have choices, and that's the message that I want you to hear from me right now. I want you to remember this. I don't know what you're facing right now. I don't know what challenges you've just been handed, and you might be on YouTube searching for this video because you just had a gluten-free diagnosis handed to you, or eggs or sugar, and you're wondering, like, what can I do? I don't have a lot of recipes to share with you. I'm not going to tell you that gluten-free bread's as good as regular bread. I'm not even going to tell you that it's always going to be easy. Nothing in life is always easy, but we always have choices, and there's always room to hope, and there's always things to look forward to, and there is joy and excitement in life if you look for it. If it gets taken from you in one area, go find it in another one. Refuse to lay down and quit. I hope that's encouraging to you. I would love to hear about it if it is. Would you let me know in the comments? Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.